Hello, Voices of the Bench community. My name is Tanya Little, and I'm a denturist from beautiful Vancouver, Canada. I would like to invite you to a special webinar that I'm hosting with Ivoclar and LMT on Wednesday, May 7th, titled Thoughts from a Denturist, Creating Dentures with Ivoclar for 20 Years. In this program, I will review the incredible history of removables with Ivoclar and focus on the new and exciting Ivotion base print resin and, of course, the PM7. My goal is to provide you with several key takeaways that will allow you to work smarter and not harder. You can join me on May 7th by registering at lmtmag.com/webinars. That's lmtmag.com/webinars, and look for my course. I'm really looking forward to it.
Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Greetings and welcome to episode 370 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
My name's Barbara.
Barb, that's not the name you put in the software we use to record. Sounds like you're not doing so good.
I was actually trying my best to go the opposite direction, and then you called me out on it. Yes. I'm not real thrilled with my life right now, but I'm sure I'm not the only one in the world that feels that way, so moving on.
Yeah, I hear you have a little car trouble. Sorry to hear that.
A little car trouble with a BMW is not a little car trouble.
You know, I've heard that. I've heard the maintenance on a BMW is like a lot.
The maintenance on the BMW, well, I can't even go there, but it's pretty much it's pretty much a paycheck for what I'm going to have to pay. So I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of my car.
Oh, there you go. You got to maintain those cars, man. I maintain my car better than most relationships. So
dude, the car broke down in the middle of the busiest highway in Florida yesterday, jerking me back and forth, went from 50 to 5 miles an hour, like in seconds. I'm extremely traumatized. And then I had to find my way to the dealer. Oh, it's just,
man.
It was crazy. Never has anything like that. I mean, you know, I've tried to start my car and it doesn't start and you get a tow truck, but I have never experienced
on the highway
going, you know, so fast and all of a sudden your car decides to take a dump on you in the very middle of the road. So it was a little scary.
Yeah, consider yourself lucky.
I actually really did.
The car's the only problem.
Yes,
yeah.
I did. When all was said and done last night, I was like, you know what? I'm pretty grateful. So
I know traffic down there is pretty terrible in Florida.
It's fine.
I'm actually going to be down there in June in your home state, Barb.
I know.
But you're not going to be there.
That was like a spontaneous invite, which we got last year, and I will be in Chicago at the Cal Lab board meeting, so I may be able to make it, hopefully maybe that Saturday, but definitely not that Friday.
Oh, that would be nice.
I might be able to fly into Orlando. I might be able to be creative. We'll see. I'll do my best.
There you go. Yeah, that would be awesome because, like you mentioned last year, the great people at Jensen Dental invited us to record at their booth at the FDLA, Southern State Symposium and Expo, as they call it. And they invited us back.
Nice.
So I'm super excited. I love the Florida meeting.
You should love the Florida meeting. It's unbelievable.
It's a good regional show. They got a lot going on. It's still kind of small with a lot of amazing people. It's just a great show. I always have a good time going.
And it's Florida.
And it's Florida.
You can go to the pool at night, chill out, have a cocktail.
This hotel has the most amazing lazy river I've ever seen. I mean,
spoiled.
Like, I want to go when there's not a show going on sometime and just ride that thing 400 times.
Yeah, well, head over to fdla.net if you guys want to see the courses that they're having and also register. And make sure that when you do, come by and say hi to Elvis and hopefully me on Saturday.
Yeah, at the Jensen booth. And it's June 13th to the 14th this year. So it's
correct.
Coming up. I'm excited.
Let's go.
So, of course, all good things must come to an end. And this is the last set of conversations that I got at LMT Lab Day Chicago 2025 at the Ivoclar Ballroom.
Wow, and it's almost May. That lasted like
I know, isn't that nuts?
months. Good job, partner.
Yeah, I can't believe we're still releasing these things.
I know.
But we can't thank Ivoclar enough for all their continued support of this podcast.
You know it.
Everybody should go show them some love and order something from them. Barb recommends the PM7.
Right on. All day, every day.
So first up, I get to talk to the man behind MODJAW, Federico Manes. Now, Federico comes from Italy and stops by to talk all about how he learned about the dental world, what exactly MODJAW is, how it works, and actually how it can make cases better and more predictable.
Sounds kind of awesome.
It's pretty neat.
Then you get to talk to Mellissa Everett, who loves dental lab work so much that she actually works at 2 labs at the same time. Oh my God, yeah. Sounds like something I would do. Mellissa talks about getting into dental, becoming a ceramist, and working at a production lab part-time while doing more exciting cases like All on X at an in-office lab. Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how she had time to come to Lab Day,
I'm
honestly.
impressed. Very.
She's got a lot going on. Then we decide to wrap up all the conversations from Lab Day Chicago with kind of a unique treat. I really don't know what else to call this conversation.
Uh-oh.
You see, years ago, we had on a couple past guests. One was Sandra Puurits from Finland. I'm sure I got that wrong, Sandra. Sorry.
She didn't cuss very much at all.
Oh, God. But also, years ago, we had another past guest on named Jay Work, who's in Pennsylvania. Now, these two didn't know each other, but met for the first time at Lab Day Chicago 2024.
It's actually so romantic. I see it on Facebook.
Still living thousands of miles apart, they are now engaged.
They
and
are?
enjoying. Yes, and they are enjoying being different together. I'm just going to say different. I love these guys.
Yes.
They really are perfect for each other. And as you will hear on this most non-dental conversation I think I've ever had on this podcast,
Uh-oh.
it is quite enjoyable. And if you know Sandra and Jay, you will understand.
I do.
So join us as we chat with Federico Manes, Mellissa Everett, Sandra Puurits, and Jay Work.
Are you a dental lab in need of more talent to improve your bottom line and keep production on schedule? Are you a dental tech with great skills but feel you're being limited at your current lab? Well, the answer is here. Hi, I'm Mark from Win-Win Go, and this is precisely why Win-Win Go was created. The dental lab and dental tech community needed a place where labs and technicians can meet, talk about their needs, and connect in ways that foster a win-win outcome. As a tech, if you're ready to make a change, thinking about moving in the next year, or just curious what's out there, sign up today. It's totally free. As a lab, you might be feeling the frustration of paying the big employment sites so much and getting so few tech candidates. We understand. They don't much care about our industry. WinWinGo.com is simply the best place for lab techs and lab owners to actively engage in creating their ideal future. WinWinGo.com. How dental techs find paradise.
Voices from the Bench. The interview. We are here at Lab Day Chicago 2025, and I gotta mention, we're in the Ivoclar Ballroom. A gentleman comes up to me with a name tag that has MODJAW on it, and I said, "What the heck is MODJAW?" All right, your name.
I'm Federico Manes.
Federico.
Yes.
Is that not bad?
It's great.
Yeah. Federico, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
You're obviously not from Chicago.
No, I'm from Italy.
Italy, what part?
North,
Yeah?
west, yes. On the border, on the seaside, on the border with France.
Nice. Is this
Yeah.
a little terrible for you, or?
This weather is the worst I've never experienced, I can... go outside in swimsuit in this moment in my place.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got the best weather in Italy for sure.
Nice.
So. Anyways, I'm glad
tell
to
me
be
about
here.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working in a dental lab 10 years.
Okay.
And, my job was I actually have an IT background. I studied IT.
Like you went to school for it?
Yes. And then...
How'd you end up in the lab?
I had the boss of the lab, I was working in an Apple store. And
Oh, the Apple Store. Yeah,
Yes,
nice.
yes,
So you were, what do they call it, a genius or what?
kind of. It was not a real Apple store. It was a retail store.
Oh, okay.
Not really from Apple, but
Yeah.
yes, kind of a genius.
Yeah. You help the idiots with their computer
The
problems.
dummies, yes.
That would be me, but go ahead.
Yeah, and this guy was coming and bringing his computer to install guided surgery software and this type of stuff. And when I left the store, he asked me, "Do you want to join?" And when he asked me to join, he had a full analog workflow.
So wait a minute, let's back up. You're at this computer store.
Yeah.
A guy comes in with a computer that he needs help on.
Yeah.
That has dental surgical on it.
Exactly.
And that's your first experience?
Yes.
Well, that's awesome.
That was
That is
strange.
a very unique way to get into our industry.
Yes.
That's
That was
crazy.
strange. And he had a full analog workflow.
Okay.
And then I left the store and he asked me to join in order to make his.
He wanted to get into digital.
He wanted to be fully digital. That was 2011, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And that moment I didn't even know how many teeth are in the mouth. To be
That's
honest, I
hilarious.
knew nothing.
Nothing.
About that.
Why did he ask you? Just because of your computer knowledge?
Exactly. Yes, because he was deep into guided surgery and he wanted to to explore.
Yeah.
But that time was not fully digital. It was half digital, half analog. We had strange devices to prepare the guides, and he wanted to jump fully digital.
Yeah.
So he got a lab scan and he got ExoCAD. 2011, 2012, something like that.
Wow.
Then a milling device, and then a printer. And my job was to make everything work together. And I spent.
How did you figure it out?
I spent nights over it, nights and nights. And it was very practical. I had to make it work.
Yeah.
It was not like theoretical. You maybe come there and say, we need to do this job with this implant system, with this new software, and it has to be ready in 3 days. And then I spent the next 2 nights figuring out
without
how
sleeping,
to make
figuring it out. Yeah,
exactly. So, at the start it was hard, but after 3-4 years, I had what we call the eureka moment.
Yeah.
When everything gets together and you kind of understand better.
So what was that moment?
I remember exactly. I was preparing a guide and I was seeing the sleeve. I was thinking about it, and I realized we can do this manually. We can do this fully without following any company. We can do this on our own. And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Don't tell this to anyone.
Yeah.
Pay attention." And then it was good. We were kind of getting more digital and more digital, but the only thing we couldn't get rid of was the articulator. Was the Facebook, the real articulator. And that was the last part. And suddenly we met, the founders of MODJAW. That was in Lyon for a meeting. And
so MODJAW already existed.
Yes, well, they existed as a company, but still didn't exist as a device. Because I met them in 2015, and then they released the first prototype in 2018, and then they got on the market in 2019 in France for that IDS. And then, at that moment, there was no ExoCAD integration. It was something really theoretical. Still practical, already there, but it was more for diagnose. And
so what was their theory? What were they working on?
The founder is a dentist, is a prosto, and he was struggling to have prostheses that were done properly according to the specific motion of the patient. There was no way to really design the morphology in an accurate, precise way as the patient is chewing. He understood that the articulator and the Facebook were not enough, were something arbitrary that,
Are you talking digital or just analog even?
It was analog, and then he decided to move digital, and he found this...
So semi-adjustable articulator wasn't enough for this guy.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. He realized that, the reality, the way that the patient moves is nothing like that. That's just a small abstraction trying to achieve something that
nobody eats up down up down up down.
And then
down.
And no one moves the upper jaw. Rather than,
I try, but no.
That's clear.
Yeah, that's funny.
And so he did these patents about it, and then the prototype, and then got on the market, and then they got the.
And this was a physical articulator.
No, well, it's a device. It's like motion capture technology.
Okay.
You have 2 cameras, and these 2 cameras
okay.
point straight to the patient, and you have 2 trackers. When one tracker stays on the forehead, another tracker stays on the lower jaw, and by the relationship of the 2 trackers, this gets recorded. You just have to import. Yeah, you just import the intraoral scan of the patient into the software. You set the trackers, and then you point the camera to the patient and ask the patient to perform some specific motion.
Yeah.
And everything is recorded in 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the case.
So you just have them kind of chew for 15 minutes?
Well, you start with the open close, then you go with protrusion, laterality, and then you move to functional motion. So you can record the swallowing, you can record the speech, you can record the chewing. You can really give something to chew to the patient to have
give them like
real
a chicken nugget or something? And be
well, I wouldn't I wouldn't go with a lasagna or a fillet, but no, we give something very small, like a chewing or a small piece of an apple. The skin is 200 microns, or the chewing gum is about 200 microns when it stays in between the teeth.
Yeah.
So you want to see the contacts as well, but you need to touch the backside of the tongue in order to achieve the real motion that you want to. And when you see that chewing pattern, you will see like the angle of the mandible coming back in the ICP.
And almost like a circular motion.
Yes, you got the left and right, and that angle actually translates to the slope of the cusps of the molars. It's like a gear. It has to work like going on the side and then coming back. And imagine that when you want to translate this in a new prosthesis, you will have the cusp done directly in that way.
That they're rounded for that reason. Because they kind of go up, over, down, up, over, down.
It has to move.
We're doing a lot of hand motions for the podcast that you can't see, but so you capture this data and it goes into ExoCAD, it goes into 3Shape, everything.
ExoCAD, 3Shape, Nemotech, all the biggest.
And then the 2 models will move in that relation on the screen?
Exactly, with the same motion of the patient. So, with MODJAW, you have 3 things in one. So one thing is a jaw tracking device that allows you to record the real motion of the patient, see these on the screen, and then send to the CAD and design teeth accordingly.
Okay.
Second thing, MODJAW is a digital dynamic phasebow. And what I mean with a digital dynamic phasebow, I mean that when you record with MODJAW, you will have all the information to set up your digital articulator and use your digital articulator not as with an arbitrary positioning. So far I've been doing this so many times. You have your models, you have your articulator in ExoCAD, and you take your models and you try to put them in the right position. But this is fully arbitrary, and this doesn't make any sense if you think about it. The hinge, it maybe not be there.
It's an educated guess.
Let's say. Yes. So first thing is jaw tracking device with the real motion of the patient, digital dynamic phasebow. So you have the position of the models in the articulator, but as well you can get condylar lobes, Bonnet angles, and use these values to set up the articulator and get much closer. And then the question would be, why, if I have the real motion, I should use the articulator? That's a very good question. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. Smart question.
And the idea is that if the motion is good, if you want just to copy and paste the motion into the design of the prosthesis, then forget about the articulator. You have the real motion. You have the real patient chewing there. So you will not have to set up any angle. You will just use the real motion, and we call it the human articulator.
Yeah.
And then if the motion of the patient, you want to change it, you want to restore, you want to make it better, then you use MODJAW as a digital phasebow and set up the articulator and, simulate the motion that you want, simulate a better motion.
On the articulator virtual.
On the virtual articulator. Or, for example, sometimes I got patients that they can go to the laterality left perfectly, and they cannot go to the right. So I cannot use the laterality to the right. So I can use selectively the left laterality for the left canine guidance if I want to do so, and then I will simulate the right one if I want.
Other than just watching the movement, does it map out the excursions?
Yes, you have a full dynamic mapping of the context.
So you get the colors and how much.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you
that
can
makes
see
more
the proximity.
sense.
You see exactly the proximity, and you understand if you think about laterality, you will see the exact guidance. If there is any interference, this will pop out on the screen.
Interesting.
Or if when you record a speech, same thing, interferences, this will be there. And last but not least, MODJAW is as well a platform where you can build your digital patient. So we're not talking about only the intraoral scans files, but we can import as well the CBCT, and the face scan. And imagine if the field of view of the CBCT is large enough, you can see the relationship between the fossa and the condyle and how this moves.
Oh, nuts.
So And more than that, you can use MODJAW to set up a new position of the mandible. Imagine, I was doing a lot of guided surgery, so a lot of time we needed to raise the vertical dimension, and we were guessing, basically.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It was a bit of a guess. In this, with MODJAW, you can use a physiological motion given by the patient. Just pose this position on the screen. You can use, a closing motion in the last 7 millimeters. If you refer to pulse it, you will have a pure rotation. If you want to do that way, or if you want to use your centric relation or whatever motion you think is good to set up the new position of the mandible, you will just pose this relationship. Just click a button, and you will set this new height as new position of the mandible.
And you still keep the movement at that new height.
Exactly, and the movement will be transferred to the new height.
If you open a vertical, does the movement of that bite change, or is it pretty much always the same no matter what their vertical is?
This is a good question. So you need to rely on the same rules of dentistry. So the
we
range.
Don't know what those
are. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, the range of motion. The idea is that if you raise over a pure rotation of the condyle, then you can keep that specific motion.
So if you keep that opening consistent, you keep that same bite and that same jaw movement.
And you think, if you do that, then you have the patient already chewing in the new bite, already protruding, already talking, and this translate into much more predictable morphology for your prosthesis. Imagine all the minimum thickness. You don't need to add the function on the day of the fitting. You add the function
on the try-in.
During the design.
Oh yeah.
That's when and that's how you can pimp your morphology in order to be exactly what you need.
So obviously not a lot of people are using this for just single crowns, right? Or do they?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say for single crowns, but the idea is that we made the technology so easy to use.
You can do it on everybody.
Yeah, you should do this on everyone. It's about the first hour. The first visit is 10 minutes to have the intraoral scan, then 10 to 15 minutes to record the motion, and then you still have more than half an hour to go with the CBCT, with the visit, with the pictures, or whatever. But the idea is that a lot of people, a lot of users tell me, this is nice, I will use for full arch. And don't get me wrong, this is perfect. You can get the best sauce out of that for full arch rehab.
Those things will break a lot less.
But once they understand how easy it is to record, then they will apply in the first visit for everyone.
So who's buying these, dentists or labs?
Well, dentists.
Yeah, okay.
Dentists will buy the device, and then labs will use the data.
Well, let's say a dentist buys it, and I'm a lab. How do I even know what it is when it comes in?
Well, we provide the training. So you can rely on us. We provide the training to the dentist on his side to perform a good recording, to use the software, and then we provide the specific training for the lab in order to be able to import the data and use the data. But if the lab is a digital one, if they already use the virtual articulator, they will adapt in a second. Yes, because it's the same exact thing. It's just the real motion.
Yeah.
It's the same. When you use the virtual articulator, you have a simulation over the motion, and if you use Exocad, this will build an imprint that is a surface that contains the motion.
Yeah.
Same thing with the real motion of the patient. So
this is fascinating.
If the lab is digital, they will not even
it's
need
like
the
easy for
training.
us.
Yes.
More training on the doctor, I'm sure.
Yes, they need to. But at the end of the day, it took me 6 to 10 recordings to feel much more confident. I'm not even a dentist, so and I was used to hold my hands on my back and watch, but at the end it's very easy. It's very smooth. That's
super neat. You're the only ones doing this, aren't you?
Well, there are other people, but I can say we have a good experience.
Sure. No, it sounds like, why wouldn't you do it? It should be as common as, facial photos that we don't get.
It's becoming very common. It is becoming. I see, when I started in 2019, 2020, no one was doing that, and now is a reality.
Let me ask you this. Let's say you're about to do a full arch double surgery. They come in with bad dentition. Mm-hmm. Can you record that movement, extract teeth, do implants,
Absolutely.
And still... That's insane.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you have removable prostheses, you just make sure that the prostheses fit well. Otherwise, you add some material.
You're just moving and moving and moving.
Then you just scan them 360 degrees. So, on the internal side is like an individual tray.
Yeah.
So you will have the gum, and then you will have the situation on the other side. Then you do your recording normally, as it was real teeth. But then you can crop the file you have, the prosthesis you have, and just have the two gums moving. If you have some remaining teeth, you can then extract the teeth, build your walks up, design your walks up,
Man,
and move in that direction.
Game changer for deliveries of these immediate load temps and
Absolutely, it's a game changer. We say it's was the missing link in the full digital workflow.
Yeah,
that's exactly how I approached to it, and exactly what it is. Yes.
Yeah. So how can people find out more? MODJAW.com.
So MODJAW.com.
MODJAY.
JW. Yes.
JAW. I know what letters are. MODJAW.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. .com. I don't know. It's a long day. So so just check that out and
yes, and look for MODJAW on social media.
Yeah.
We got a very active social media page on Facebook, on Instagram,
Nice.
and look for us, and we'll be happy to give a specific demo and explain and show our technology.
Is there a charge to the lab?
No, there's no.
It's
charge.
all the dentist
The
buys
dentist
it
just
and
buy it.
does that. We just need to know how to use that data.
Exactly.
And I don't know why we wouldn't promote dentists to get it. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure. And on one hand, this is something that by the dentist, and the dentist use as diagnostic, but on the other hand, save the technician, because once you have the good relationship of the jaw, the good motion, then you are safe with your minimum thickness. You are safe to
That's awesome.
We see a drop in reduce. This is what our
every little
our
break.
users tell.
I mean, it's gone because it's always the bite or the excursion movements or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
I love it. Well, how do you say your name again?
Federico Manes. Yeah.
Federico. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that.
Thanks
Learned
to you.
a lot. Yeah.
It was great to be here.
MODJAW with the W.com.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Grazie. Bye.
Bye. Mellissa Everett.
Hi there.
Welcome to LMT Lab Day Chicago. Day 2. Are you still surviving all right?
I am.
Yeah.
Especially after last night.
Oh, man. Were you at the big bar?
Yeah, the beer fest.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Rockin'.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I didn't even stop by to get one of the tickets from Alien and Imagine to get in. So.
Well, I had the VIP.
Oh, what does that mean?
That means we got in before everyone else.
Oh, how'd you get that?
Jen, that was just standing here.
Yeah?
She's the coolest, actually.
She's sweet talk?
She actually knows a lot of people.
Oh, nice.
That know a lot of people.
Nice. That's always nice. Nice to hear. So we're at the Ivoclar Ballroom. Mellissa, I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
Social media, I think we've met, you mentioned. Tell us your story.
So my story is I am a ceramist.
Okay.
I've been doing it 20 years. But
So you started when you were, 8?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm actually 42.
You don't have to say that. Nobody can see us. This whole podcast thinks I'm 27.
Really?
Yeah.
I see that. So I've been a ceramist.
How'd you get into it?
I got into it because I actually went to college to be a dental assistant.
Okay.
I literally went to school, and then I was a dental assistant for about a year, and I realized I hated it.
Oh, really? What did you hate about it? People?
Well, I got bit. And I don't know, it wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
But when I first went to school, I thought it would be my thing.
Sure.
So once you get into it and you realize it's not, I just walked away from that career and just started doing other things with my life. And my parents were mad at me all the time because they're like, you have college bills to pay for. You went to college for this. Why aren't you in this field? So one day my dad went to a wedding. And at the wedding, he was sitting at a table that a woman there was a dental technician.
Oh.
And she was telling everybody what she did for a living at the table. And my dad said, what is that, like a dental assistant? She's like, no, I make teeth.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, that sounds like something maybe my daughter's going to want to do. I'm going to go home and tell her. So she was like, we're hiring. Come down and check it out.
Oh, so you actually connected with her.
But I wasn't at that wedding. My dad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's hilarious.
So my dad said the next day, he's like, you're going down to that lab. It was Davis in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I've actually been there.
NDX Davis.
Yeah.
So I went down there and I applied and they hired me right away. But they actually hired me originally to be a partials person. And I kept on saying, when I was in school, everybody told me ceramics is where it's at. How do I get in there? And they're like, you can't get in there. Once you get hired in at a certain department, you don't get to move out of that department into another department.
Why?
I don't know. That's what they were saying because
That's dumb.
Their departments had like 30-some people.
It was a big lab.
You know what I mean? It was like the largest in West Michigan.
Yeah.
But because I kept on voicing that, saying I wanted to be there, all of a sudden corporate called right after they told me I was hired and said, we're no longer hiring for partials. We can't take another person in. And they're like, we just hired somebody and they just went back and quit their job for 2 weeks. We need to bring her in. And they were like, but she keeps on talking about ceramics. Do we have room over there? And they're like, yeah, we can bring her over there. So I literally went right into ceramics from day one.
It's almost lucky that you almost didn't get hired. Like, we can't take anybody else, but it pushed you into what you wanted to do.
Because I kept on voicing my opinion.
You?
Exactly.
Okay, so you get into ceramics. Have you done any ceramics at this point?
Never. Didn't even know what it was.
You just heard the word?
I just was told in college when we were learning stuff in the books that in the lab field, a ceramist is like one of the highest paid people.
Yeah.
And that's all I ever cared about. Was the
Okay. Did they give you a color test or anything? Or
They gave us this piece of Play-Doh, like a clay thing, and told us to make a tooth with it.
How'd you do?
I obviously passed because I got hired.
Okay.
I'm very artistic.
Okay, so you didn't talk about that. So you're already good with your hands.
I
You
am-
like that kind of thing.
I'm really good with my hands. I'm really good with like doing random stuff,
Sure.
art. I just didn't think about dental lab stuff. I didn't know it really
yeah,
existed.
nobody does. Yeah.
So I get into the job, and they immediately start training us by picking up porcelain, just putting it on, layering, simple stuff. I started on metal copings because actually digital didn't exist back then.
I was going to say, it's all layered.
Like Emaxes were around.
Yeah.
Like the pressing and stuff, that stuff was there. But because I was new, they didn't allow somebody like me to do that because that was like a high-end ceramist position.
Sure.
You had to be like a senior tech
Yeah,
to
you got
do
to
that.
build your way up to the
You got to build.
Got
So only like our really good ones got
Yeah,
to do
You're
that.
slapping color on posterior PFMs.
Yeah, and they started me off with Ceramco 2, which is an old porcelain.
Ceramco, yep.
So I start learning that, and then we bring in a specialist, and he really taught all the newbies how to really be like a precision builder.
They brought an outside person in?
Yep,
Yeah.
they flew some guy into our lab, and he would come in like once a month or every couple of months for a whole week.
Oh, wow.
Sit with us in like a training like conference room and just like really
That's an opportunity.
teach us how
Yeah.
to be who we are.
Nice.
And because of that, after 4 years, I became able to do a full production. I could build like 16 crowns from a
They
coping.
let you touch the Emax?
And now, then one day they said,
You're
you can
ready,
touch
yeah.
the, exactly.
Yeah, we have too many. Can you help? Yeah.
So I did that for 15 years,
15 years?
working at NDX Davis.
Wow.
Made my way all the way up to quality control
Wow.
of the porcelain and the crown and bridge. Like, I would check all the work out. And when I realized I got into quality control, I no longer was building. I was just grinding, and I got bored with it.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do is talented person into something. Yeah.
And at the beginning, I was excited to do that because I wanted always that next level of
Yeah.
the job. You always
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
push
yeah.
for that next thing. But once you get there, you get bored.
Yeah.
So I one day just went on Indeed,
Oh, yeah.
and I found a job in Detroit.
Okay.
And I just up and changed my life. I applied for the job, and they moved me across the state. So now I'm on the other side of the state with no
Living in Detroit.
not knowing anybody, just
Yeah.
moved over there with my family, and I start working there. And while I was there, I started hearing about people like working other labs, you know, like, hey, we should get somebody to help us over here sometime. Maybe they'll,
Is that called like moonlighting or something?
I don't know, but a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, you're a ceramist. Why aren't you doing that at other labs? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of us getting someone in here, why don't I go
So
find...
your lab was bringing other people in.
They were trying to, and I
that
was
worked
like,
at other labs.
and I was
you're
like, why don't
vice
I do
versa,
that?
Yeah.
So then I started going around looking for a lab, and I ended up landing at, I think, one of the greatest labs, and that's where I work now, 40 hours. I work
What's the
for
greatest lab that you think?
It's actually, I work for a dentist now.
I love that. Yeah.
I actually work for the actual dentist. He's a prosthodontist. His name is Remy Gendali, and he's an amazing prosthodontist in Southfield, Michigan.
Man, I tell you, in-office technicians are killing it right now.
That's what I was going to say. There's only 2 of us there, and I literally do everything. I am never bored. I do ortho. I do partials. I do grinding in some dentures. We do all on 4s all day long. So I'm working with acrylics. I'm working with ceramics.
And you get to see it in the mouth.
I see everything. And then, you know what the best part is? My remake level is down because there's never a remake. I fix it right there.
That's not fair. Of course your remakes are down.
If they say the shade's off, guess what? I'm going back in that lab and quick slap on the right color.
Technically that's a remake, but I hear you. The patient didn't leave with it.
They left with that tooth that day.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
awesome.
I never have to go. They're going to have to come back in a week, and we're going to have to reschedule. I literally knock it out.
So you worked in the Detroit lab and this doctor at the same time.
Yep.
How long did that happen? That's a lot of hours.
I did that for over a year.
So what, you would 9 to 5 at the lab and then 5 to 10?
Correct.
Wow.
So then I ended up.
And you have a family?
I have 2 children.
Jeez. Have you seen them lately? No, I'm just
kidding. You know, I'm surprised I'm not so white from not getting any sun.
Going outside? Yeah.
Like a vampire.
Wow.
So
That's a lot of work.
So I work nights, but then I ended up quitting that first lab that brought me down here.
Yeah.
And then I started working at another lab.
Oh, jeez.
And I was working for the dentist now, and now another lab at night.
Oh, so you reverse the roles. Yeah.
And then I would sometimes work till 4 a.m. Jeez. And then go back to work.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Because I do love what I do.
Yeah.
And I actually, so what I'm noticing is since I've been pushing myself like that, my skill level has intensified. I am like way more of a dental technician than I ever was.
Yeah.
It's making me a better person.
Sure.
So now I work for I quit that. I'm still working at the dentist, but now I quit that lab. And now I'm working for another lab. But the best part about this new lab is when the 4 hours is done, I literally just can leave. And somebody else will finish grinding it in for me or glaze it after.
So you do 4 hours.
Of just building.
That's it.
Well, I finish metal. I opaque or degas, finish the metal.
At night.
At night. Once I'm done opaquing the metal, I'll build the crowns. And then as far as how many I can do, then I stop, and then someone finishes it after me.
Interesting. I'm out.
Because I'm a ceramist, they need that builder. You know what I mean? I'm realizing ceramists are very rare.
They're getting to be, yeah.
I mean,
they're good ceramists, yeah.
So that's the thing. They need builder and grinders.
And everybody knows you're working for everybody else during this whole process?
I let them know all the time.
And they don't mind?
No, because when you work for an in-house dentist,
There's only so much work, right?
Well, I was going to say, I'm not working for competitors. The only time I work for that competitor is when I'm actually working in a lab that has other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you work for the dentist, you're just doing the dentist's work.
You only do, is it a solo dentist that's in there?
There's actually 2 dentists in there, but yeah.
And you do everything that they do?
Everything.
Do you like doing removable?
I love all of it.
Do you really?
I mean,
great.
Everybody loves a little smell of monomer.
We can tell.
Exactly.
So how do you maintain all these hours? I mean, seriously, that's... So you work like, what, 8 hours and then 4 hours?
So imagine this. How many lab techs have you ever met where they say, I'm salary, and sometimes I'm working for free after 8 hours?
Yeah.
Or they're putting in 12-hour days.
Oh, they all do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm smart. I'm getting an hourly all day long. I'm doing the 12, but when I leave the one, I'm going to the next, and I'm still catching that hourly.
And I'm guessing that break between environments probably kind of helps, so you're not 12 hours in one place.
So one lab, the first 40 hours, I'm doing all on 4 stuff like that and designing. Oh. The other lab, I'm just building building crowns.
It's probably your wind down from the designing and the craziness and the...
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's the same thing all day long, but yet it's not the same thing. It's like I'm still being a ceramist, but in a whole nother way. So that's the difference.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was exciting to go to
How
lab
long can you
day.
hold this up?
I keep on asking myself that. I don't know.
What day are you just going to break?
Well, I don't know, maybe I'm ADHD. I think I can handle.
We all are a little crazy, maybe on the spectrum a little bit, to be doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
But you're a whole new level, Mellissa.
That's what I've always wanted to say, hey, because I always wondered how many other people actually have ever worked 2 lab jobs. Because when I worked for NDX Davis, they made us sign an actual thing
that says you can't.
That we could not.
I think most labs kind of frown upon it because they feel like you're, doing the work, the competitor or whatnot. But even in your situation where, it's an in-office versus a lab, less competitive, I don't see why, if a lab doesn't have the amount of hours and work to provide to a worker, most labs would welcome a part-time employee just to come in and crank out some work.
And that's all they,
they don't have to worry about the benefits and all the stuff. And just, I would love to have someone come into a lab for 4 hours and just work. Because everyone else, you know what it is. You're there for 8 hours, but you really do about 5.5 hours of work. I mean, let's be honest,
Yeah, I know. I actually purposely want to sit down sometimes in front of the design computer just to take a break from being in the lab. That's one thing that's nice about that full-time job is the computer spot and then the bench part, 2 separate, but you're giving yourself a break.
Yeah.
So
you got a lot going on. I'm surprised you had time to come here.
I know, right? Surprised.
Are you leaving today and going
am.
back? Do you have work to do on Sunday?
Not Sunday, but come Monday, I have a double arch surgery in-house where the patient will come in, have the surgery, get all their teeth removed.
Yeah.
I will go and design the upper and lower arches and then have them printed, tie-based, and have them back in that patient's mouth by the end of the day.
Are you guys doing photogrammetry?
No, but my boss was here. He's here right now. He's been looking at some of those systems.
How are you getting the scans of the implant placement
OptiSplint.
I love the OptiSplint.
God, OptiSplint is a game changer. I keep on telling him. He was looking at some other scan bodies and stuff here, and I was like, no, stay with the OptiSplint because you can go into an instant model off them. And it's so accurate.
Yeah. I'm going to lose all possibility of ever having a photogrammetry sponsor this podcast because I keep saying why.
OptiSplint, I don't know. It's just something about it. I've seen the other stuff. I've even been in a couple seminars this week where they were talking about their other products. And I was like, I don't know. They don't go into an instant model after.
That's a huge benefit.
Huge because you know exactly.
You can verify your fit.
And then what's really nice about the OptiSplint is, okay, so not only are we scanning it inside the mouth, and then I'm putting in analogs and turning it into the model, I then take that model, put it in the desktop scanner, and I scan it again, and when I match it in the computer, I actually know if it was
more
off.
Accurate.
I can see where we actually mis-scanned in the mouth, and now it's going to be the perfect fit for the all-in-4 that day. It's going in the mouth.
So Thursday, I talked to the 2 guys that created OptiSplint.
Really?
So there's a great episode coming out, but let me tell you something, because you just mentioned you scan the OptiSplint in the mouth. You're supposed to take it out and scan it.
I
had no idea. It blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, what? He goes, yeah, you take it out, you clean it, you dry it, then you scan it, and it's a million times easier. And I'm like, shut up.
Well, we still do that, too. Like I said, we're scanning it outside.
No, just the OptiSplint.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I'll have to talk to my doctor.
I was like,
He's
wait a minute, are there
prosthodont.
instructions that come with this thing? Because I had no idea. That's so funny that you say that.
Did not know that.
That makes it so much easier.
Especially how tall they are.
Yeah.
But I think he does. So my doctor, he does 1 arch at a time. Like he'll start with the upper.
Yeah.
He'll get it all done, scan it, give me that stuff.
Yep.
I'll start designing the upper arch while he's now doing the lower surgery.
Yeah.
Once we're all done doing that design, then I take that, put that STL into another setup, and then make that my antagonist, and then I create the lower.
Wow.
And then, boom, next thing you know, it's on the printer, and it's back in their mouth.
What are you printing it out of?
A Frozen. We use Rod and Titan.
On a Frozen?
Yeah.
So the Amazon printer.
It's on a, I don't know if it's the Amazon. I didn't know it was from my boss bought it, but.
No, it's like this general printer that people are really doing great things with.
We have the Mini 8K. We have 2 Mini 8Ks. We have 1 Mighty 8K. The Mighty I print models on.
Yep.
The Minis is where I print my Keysoft splint, and I print the all-on-4s.
So you do all this for 8 days, and then for 4 hours you just build.
Correct.
That's crazy.
It's insane. But I will tell you, if I would have stayed back at that original lab that did make me who I really am.
Yeah, sure.
I would have never been able to do all this. You know what I mean? Those were all separate departments. Now it's all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's big lab,
like
there
was
lab.
There was an implant department. There was a ceramic.
Now you're in everything department.
I'm in everything department, so I'm never bored.
I love it. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think you need to take a little time off, but that's up to you. There's a lot of work in.
Well, I live in
enjoy it. That's the important part.
I live in an expensive town, and my rent is very expensive.
Do you? Okay, well, that
I live where a lot of the hockey players live in Detroit.
Oh,
the Red Wings hockey.
Yeah.
So we've run into Chris Osgood at CBS.
I have no idea who that is. Is that a hockey player?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was. He's retired.
Oh, he's retired?
That's why he was at CVS Pharmacy one day.
Getting his pills.
Exactly.
Mellissa, thank you so much.
I'm
so happy I finally got to see you this weekend. And I'm so happy you came on to tell this story that's pretty unique.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I made it here on that bus.
Hilarious. Have a great rest of the time, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
This is so exciting for me. We have two past podcast guests. J-Work. What's those things called that you make?
Crozats.
Crozats. I knew that. I knew that. And then are you ready for this? Sandra Puurits. No?
Puurits.
Puurits. Jay and Sandra, how are you?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Doing good.
Haven't been in any seminars.
You haven't been to any seminar? No?
I wanted to go to Bego's seminars, but we woke up at 12 yesterday, so.
Yeah. But you're on a different time zone, so let's back up here. Sandra comes from Finland.
Indeed.
She was on the podcast a long time ago and still holds the record for the most bleeps.
Yeah.
45 or something like that. It was a pretty high number.
Yeah, someone counted.
That was me. I counted. I even gave a free T-shirt to someone that could guess how many.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I think it was 43 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, let's try not to break that today.
Yeah.
And then Jay was on a while ago talking about his Crozat, the crazy metal bendy appliance that nobody in the world makes but him.
This is true.
Yep. Now that we're all caught up to date, you guys met each other on Instagram?
We didn't really talk that much on
Sent
Instagram,
a few
but we
memes maybe
yeah,
here
but we met here last year.
So the first time you really truly met each other was here, Lab Day last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a relationship blossomed?
Oh, it blossomed. And now we're engaged.
That's insanely awesome.
Yeah, Jay's been to Finland 4 times.
4 times in a year?
Yeah.
That sounds expensive.
And I went there 2 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, you just don't see each other for like a month and a half and then somebody flies out?
Yeah.
Yeah. For now. Yeah.
So when is the wedding?
I don't think we're going to have a wedding.
When are you going to the courtroom?
Yeah. I don't know yet. We're waiting on the paperwork stuff.
Oh, all that jazz. Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
So what's the process? Talk about it.
Oh God, it's awful. It's a lot of paperwork.
So what? Do you go to the U.S. Embassy or do you go to Finland and then you say, "Hey, I want," because you're coming here to America, right, Sandra?
Yeah, we need to apply a visa for me, and then Jay's gonna fill in his form, and then I have to go to an American embassy for an interview and fill in like 100 pages.
100 pages?
And I have to write down all the addresses I lived after I turned 16.
Why do they care?
I don't know. I don't know. And it's like you have to tick yes or no. That are you gonna be a prostitute here?
Really? Was that a question?
Yeah. Are you gonna, sell guns and drugs?
Well, wasn't that your career choice here in America? I mean. So what is the plan? Are you going to come in and help him in his lab?
I'm going to be a trad wife.
You're going to be a what wife?
Trad wife.
A trag wife?
Trad, like a traditional wife.
Oh, a traditional. Yeah. So what does that mean? What is a traditional wife anymore?
Yeah, cook and clean and
have babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't have, but we're gonna try.
Yeah, it's worth a shot, right?
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So Jay, talk about the first time you went to Finland. How was it? Interesting?
Yeah.
It's your first time over there, I imagine?
Yeah. It's everyone's quiet.
Really?
Yeah. I was really nervous to like order beers and stuff, but everyone speaks English anyway, so that was a surprise. Your
first concern was, how am I going to get alcohol?
It was one of the first.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot different there. Everyone's private. And, you know, more polite maybe in a way because everyone kind of
just kind of leaves
keeps
each other
to themselves.
alone. Yeah.
So that part's cool. It's a lot cleaner than America.
Yeah.
There's trash cans everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't want to live there?
I would, but shipping out of there is not cool.
So it's really slow and expensive.
So you would still do what you do,
right.
But over there, shipping back to America, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Plus, it's easier for her to get a visa to America
than for you to get one for Finland? Really?
I think so. If we got married there, it doesn't matter. They don't have a K1 visa.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So where are you going to get married, here or in Finland?
Here.
I guess here.
Yeah.
But you're first going to do the paperwork. I don't know how this process works.
Haven't you watched the series?
90 Day Fiancé?
Oh.
I know of it. I've seen a little bit of it.
It's awful.
So from what I understand, you guys just fight all the time.
Yeah.
If that's what happens on the show.
Yeah.
One of you cheats on the other one a lot because I see that on the show.
Yeah, that's why we couldn't get in 90 Day Fiancé. My co-workers hope that we're going to go take part of the series.
I will say, Sandra, you would be a good character on that show. I mean this as a compliment, by the way.
But I don't think they want to show us just getting day drunk. And being happy, you know.
Remember that old MTV show where everyone just lived in a house?
Oh, yeah. Real World.
Real World.
Yeah.
I always joke that if I was on that show, they'd be like, where's he do? He's watching TV. It's boring. I wouldn't do anything, you know? I wouldn't create drama. I wouldn't try to get it. I'd just be like just sitting there.
I feel like that show started reality TV.
It did, I think.
That's weird.
So we're not going to do that?
No. So what do you think coming to America? Have you been to where he lives, which is, where is it? Pennsylvania.
Percy,
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
What do you think of Pennsylvania?
I love Percy. It's like a small town. There's a lot of nature.
Yeah?
I was there last July for 2 weeks. It's kind of hillbilly, maybe.
That's most of America.
Yeah. But
it's not quite Pennsyltucky, but it's it might as well be. Yeah.
Oh, today we were sitting at the top bar, and I went to grab more beer, and I was waiting, and then this one guy was talking to me, and then at some point I had to say that I'm not American, and he was like, yeah, what? I thought you're from Kentucky.
Kansas.
Kansas.
They thought you were from Kansas? Why?
I don't know.
You have a look that's not unique to any state. And again, I mean that as a compliment. Interesting.
Kansas.
So have you gone anywhere else in America other than Chicago and Pennsylvania? Did you take her to a museum or anything, or what do you do?
We don't do those things.
No?
We walked a lot in the nature, in the forests and rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like sightseeing.
We tubed down the Delaware River.
Oh,
that
nice.
was pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, New York, obviously, because I land. I
You
fly to New York from Helsinki.
Go around New York or just?
No, we just drove through it. It was awful.
You guys are so similar. You're like, I don't want to be with crowds. I don't want to see this. Just put me out in the woods.
Last time Jay was in Finland in January, beginning.
Yeah.
The first week. So I took him to meet my step-parents.
Yeah.
And
how'd that go?
Great.
It was fun.
Yeah.
They're awesome. And my mom said that he's so not American. He's more of a Finn. It's like being quiet.
Yeah,
not
keep him to
talking.
himself.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good quality.
Yeah.
Did you meet her dog?
I did.
I love that dog.
How do you know that dog?
Instagram.
Okay.
That scruffy dog that's at the lab.
I got her a chew toy that was like a giant cigarette. I don't know if you saw that
I think
picture.
I did see that, yeah. So when you were visiting, did you still have to work or did you take time off? Did you go in and help?
I did go in and help.
Did you really?
For one day.
Yeah. Last spring you came. I had to go in on a Saturday, I think, to finish some cases. And then I made you help me.
Yeah.
Would
I just
polish
polished
I
stuff.
was going to say, yeah. Every removable tech will get anyone to help them polish.
Yeah.
But yeah, last time I didn't. A Monday was a free day. I don't know. Some Jesus day that you can get off.
Jesus day.
But I didn't get off from work last time.
I'll say your English is a lot better than it was when we had you on the podcast
Well,
first.
thank I asked Jay at some point that he's been talking to me every day, so he doesn't
Are
hear
you
the
learning
difference.
Finnish?
It's so fucking hard. Oh, my God. But, I mean, I guess the answer is yes, but it's really hard. A couple of curse words that are easy to remember. And
you doing like a book, like a tape or
I got this app.
Yeah.
So the like Babbel and stuff, they don't even offer Finnish without like paying extra money.
Sure, it's only the big
popular
ones.
It doesn't make any sense yet, so.
But the last sentences that you try to learn to say, it's because we have this deal at my lab that one of our co-workers, he said that when he's going to win in a lottery, he's going to bleach all of our assholes, pay for it.
Oh, okay.
And then one of my co-workers, she moved to another town, and then we made a deal that she gave her bleach to Jay.
Oh, lucky Jay.
So I learned how to say, hey, have you won the lottery yet? And then when the guy says no, I say, because my asshole's waiting.
So how do you say that?
Oh, Oletko yo voitenet latosa. But I forget the second part. That's have you won the lottery?
Yeah, the second part's the one that's funnier.
Yeah, say the second part.
Mun persereikä odottaa.
She does it a little better. You need more of that.
Yeah, the language doesn't make any sense yet, but hopefully it will.
Are you taking his last name?
Yeah.
Oh, you have a great last name, though.
I don't have a middle name. I only have one first name.
So you'll make your last name your middle name? That's pretty common.
No.
No.
Listen.
Sorry.
I thought it's like I could take a second name. It could be does not. Sandra does not work.
Does not.
Trad wife.
You know.
That's hilarious. Someone put some thought into this.
Or Sandra will work for money.
Oh, there you go.
Endless.
Your middle name could be, you need to pay me if you want me to.
Now we're getting it.
But are you just going to work in his lab? And you guys are going to, because you're by yourself, right?
Yeah, well, I have.
Do you have enough work for two people?
Yeah.
Can she do what you do? It's pretty.
I think so.
Pretty crazy what you do and pretty sensitive. Do you think you can do what he does?
I'm going to try to learn, but at the same time, there are quite many labs. So I could maybe find a place to do removables.
At another lab in the area?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Or you could start doing a removable from your lab.
I know, but my lab's in my apartment, so it's
time to expand, you guys.
Yeah.
Start a family. Buy that house in the suburbs. 2.5 garages. And
try for children and try and try.
All right, Sandra, calm down. Jeez.
I can't. I see him only every 2 months, you know.
Oh, boy. I'm imagining you're probably not going to use much of this.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So what's the time frame? Are we expecting paperwork to come through in a month, 2 months? Is it years?
Well, if you look it up, it says that it could be 3 to 15 months. So
Yeah, and it started. I mean, it's all submitted?
no, I didn't submit it yet.
Oh, come on.
I keep getting it's much worse than you think it is. So I think I'm actually going to go to a lawyer and they can like
do it for you?
Well, it's pretty much done, but I just want to make sure there's
Errors.
nothing wrong. And
Yeah.
I think they can expedite it too, but
Last thing you want to do is go through the whole process and forgot you check a box or something.
Yeah.
I have to go to an interview,
That's going to be weird, yeah.
and I need to, up my game. I can't just
You can't go.
be me. I need to try to be a decent person.
Yeah, you got to remember you got to say yes and not yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
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 'Cause they'll-
Yeah.
It was last time I flew to New York. I have to go through customs, and
Yeah.
sometimes there's a fucking long line.
Yeah.
A long line. This time there weren't anyone there,
Oh,
so I
nice.
just got through. But last time I waited over an hour, and then the custom dude, it was like an older guy, and
Yeah.
he was like really serious. And he took my passport, and he was like, "Do you speak English?" And I was like, "Yep." And then he just looked like, and I was like, "Yes, sir." But he was really nice. We talked like 15 minutes. He
Well, you
was-
want to make sure you could speak English, yeah.
Yeah. But the look he gave me when I was like, "Yep." Should I have said, yeah?
Yeah. Then he'd be like, yeah, she's pretty much American.
Yeah. From Kansas.
Kansas, obviously.
Well, I'm not that freaked out now. I've
About
been to the
what?
States so many times that if we go to a restaurant or something, I actually talk.
Oh, yeah, she made small talk with a waitress this morning.
Why wouldn't you? Even back when you were on the podcast originally, you could have. We had a whole conversation.
Yeah, but I was so freaked out.
So now you're making small talk with
Yeah.
people.
I'm ready to, move here.
And small talk is something that doesn't exist in Finland.
Really?
Yeah. If you, get on an elevator with someone and you say, oh, how about the weather today?
Yeah.
They would look at you like, why the are you talking to me?
Really?
And Jake tried to fist bump one of my friends, and he just moved away. Like, what the
They don't fist bump over there?
No.
They don't do anything like that.
That is strange.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Are you sad to leave Finland?
Nah.
No?
We can always go back.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
We talked with one of my friends. They're cool. They want to. We talked about we could all four of us buy a summer cottage.
Oh, in Finland?
Yeah. So we can go there in the summertime.
That'd be nice.
And they're cool. So.
Yeah.
So are we going to see the? It's not a wedding. What are we going to call it? The
Drinking.
Court. Okay. Will we see the official drinking happen on Instagram so we all know it happened?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, we'll send you a private message.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, it took a while to announce the engagement, anyways, because
Why?
we don't do that.
Yeah, you're very private people.
We told our friends, the close friends, I guess.
Yeah.
But not right away because we don't do that.
Okay. Well, you're telling a podcast now.
Yeah.
It's out there, and we're all going to be waiting for the official word.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah if they ask me.
There you go.
Do you want to marry this man? Yeah.
If you're doing it in a court, and I got married in a court, with a judge, they ask you the same questions. I mean,
What do you mean?
well, it's very formal, but they still ask you, do you want to be, her husband, and you want to be his wife? Boom, yeah. It's very by the script and quick. When you're done, you're like, that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. But you can say, yeah.
Can I?
I don't see why not. And you can say, I think I don't have a choice.
Amazing. Yeah.
I can use the foreigner card. It's like I can say yeah even though you shouldn't say
Yeah, you could just say it
because
was
I'm not
lost
from
in
around.
translation.
Yeah. I use that card. It's like I'm Estonian and I've lived in Finland for 15 years now.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't feel like I'm not Finnish, but I use the foreigner card
Yeah.
every time I need. If I up,
Yeah.
I just say, sorry, I'm a
You
foreigner.
could tell, oh, no, I said fucker. And that's Finnish for love. And they'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to use that card.
over and over and over.
Yeah.
20 years from now, when no one will even know, your accent's completely gone, you're still going to use it.
I don't think it'll be gone.
No, I don't either. I hope you never lose it.
Me too. I don't have it's like Finns don't realize I'm not a Finn, but I don't talk Estonian at all. So I've just learned to speak Finnish through working and through my friends.
Sure.
So I haven't learned the language, but I have the central Finland accent. But when I get tired or too drunk, then it starts sounding like I'm not Finnish.
And when I get drunk, it starts to sound like I'm Finnish.
Are you guys doing anything here at Lab Day, or are you just being together? You seriously taking
We went
courses?
to the Torture Museum.
That's fun, yeah.
That was great, yeah.
There's one class I want to take on Saturday morning.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Maintaining your 3D printer.
Oh, there you go. How to clean it and stuff. Yeah.
I'm not sure what it involves, but hopefully I make it.
Are you here for any classes, or no?
Well, I wanted to go to the Bego ones. They
That's
were
right, yeah.
yesterday.
But you guys didn't get up till noon.
No.
Yeah.
And there was one like a bit later, but that was like for beginners, how to design frames, and I
think you know how to design a frame, yeah.
But it would have been nice to go there, but maybe next year.
Next year you could be living in the States.
I hope so.
Fucking hope so. We still haven't figured out how I'm gonna get my dog here.
Can you just fly a dog?
It's a lot more than we thought it would be. Like domestically you can, but
That's right. Remember when Johnny Depp got really big in trouble for taking his dogs to Australia?
No.
Yeah, he got like a huge trouble because he didn't do all the paperwork and stuff.
Yeah, the paperwork's not that bad, but it's like with Finnair, it's like I don't want to put my girl in a
underneath.
Yeah.
And it's like she's like 6 kilos. That doesn't say anything to you, but it's like he's less than a carry-on.
Yeah.
Max is, so she should be able to come
fit
with
under
me.
the seat.
But that's
that's the rule.
That's
like whose dog fits under the
all four are
seat?
mine. They're all like this big.
Yeah, but what do you put them in a shoe box or something?
Paper bag.
So I haven't. I don't know. And then I guess you can take a boat.
I was gonna say, come over by boat. I mean, I don't know how much that
but
is, and that's
you
probably
still
like
have to fly to France or.
It's probably a 3-month trip. I don't know how long it takes
I
to
think
go
it's
by
a
boat.
week.
Was that it? I don't know.
But it's f***ing expensive.
I bet.
So we don't know yet. It's like in my brain, I could just buy a seat for her, and she could just
get one of those things that's a therapy dog or something.
Right.
Or,
I checked that. It takes
service dog.
It takes 2 years in Finland to get it.
Get one from America. No one's gonna look at that shit.
Oh, that's right.
People just buy them on Amazon, strap them on their dog, and all of a sudden it's a service dog. And you could tell that dog's not a service dog because it's crapping in the middle of the hall.
But even at the airport, it doesn't
I don't
matter?
know about that. Don't ask me. But I'm just saying, you go to the mall and someone has it, and you're like, that's not a service dog.
Yeah, we might have to fraud our way into the country.
What could go wrong?
It's like people bring babies.
Yep.
They don't have to buy a seat for them.
No.
They don't have to tuck them under the seat.
No.
And they're loud. They piss and they poop.
They're worse than dogs.
Yeah.
By far.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. You'll get the dog over. Do you have a dog?
No.
Okay, so you're going to welcome this dog?
Yeah.
Good,
I have a
good.
turtle.
It's so unexciting.
Yeah, she just hangs out.
Do you want to show Elvis the tattoo? We had a deal that we designed tattoos for each other, and it was a surprise.
Oh.
Can you see this?
It's a turtle with whose head is that?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale's head and the turtle's giving the finger?
Yeah.
That's what I designed.
What are you designing for her?
Oh, she has
Slide
it already.
whistle.
What is it? A slide whistle?
Yeah.
We brought that last year. I don't know if you were victim of it, but I was going up behind people. And
I think I escaped that.
Okay.
Yeah, not that I'm sad or anything.
And Jay brought it to me, and now I took off. It's at the hotel, but in Finland, in the airport, in the customs, they were like,
What is
what
this?
And I was like, it's a whistle. And they took it behind it somewhere
Yeah.
And they were like checking it out.
Did you hear it behind there? Like
No,
some guy went,
they didn't. I guess they did some drug tests. But I got it back. Yeah. So I have this bad boy.
I love that thing. 3D printed little guy. That's a middle finger, I guess.
With legs.
With legs.
What do you mean you guess?
It's amazing.
Look at those cheeks.
It's pretty
awesome.
Glorious.
It's great.
Makes me want to start working out.
Oh, do you want to see what I got from Mandy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. No,
For or from?
No, you don't want to see it.
From Mandy.
For Mandy.
From.
Do
you want to guess what it is?
I know what it is, but...
It's a light and it vibrates.
It's vibrating?
Open it.
Okay, from 27:10 to 27:15, we're going to cut that out.
I love Mandy.
Are you going to use that on who am I asking?
I'm going to use
you are.
it when I go back.
You're going to walk outside just to light other people's cigarettes.
I hope they don't take it from you when you go back to the airport.
Why would they?
I don't know. They took some of my lighters when I went.
I can only have one light.
Yeah.
I think you can. Are you allowed to check those?
I don't know.
One of them is you can't take. That's an explosive, basically.
Yeah.
So you can't take it one way or the other. But you either need to check it or carry it, and you need to figure out which one. Is more likely to make it.
But I bet only carry-on luggage.
I bet you it's checking. They let you check a lot more guns, things like that. You check.
But you can't have, like, your laptop in your checked luggage. That has to be in your carry-on.
I don't think so. No.
I thought they asked you if you had, like, batteries.
Lithium batteries. Yeah. And everyone's like, nope. And I don't know whether batteries are lithium or not. I don't fucking know, but I don't have one,
Well, I guess we'll find out.
You could ship it or just keep it here until you get here.
It's so glorious. I want to, I have to show it.
To the world.
To my lab.
All right, everybody. Yeah. What a great conversation. We talked about so much teeth. Sandra and Jay, I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you. We're going to go grab a beer.
There you go.
And we're going to send someone down here who was embarrassed to come down here.
Oh, yeah?
Jake.
I wasn't going to call him out. But
I have no idea who that is. Is that Justin's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him last night. Yeah, get his down here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like we went to the Torture Museum. It was me, Jake, and Mandy.
It was quite a crew.
I bet. I bet you there's now a new warning on the door.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
God, a huge thanks to Ivoclar and everybody that sat down with Elvis at LMT Lab Day Chicago. I tell you, Federico is right. Digital has done a great job to capture everything, but actual jaw movement was the last piece, guys. Check out more how MODJAW can help you at MODJAW, MODJAW.com. And I thought I worked a lot. Well, actually, I know I work a lot, but wow. Mellissa takes it to a whole new level. And if you love it as much as she does, it doesn't always seem like work, which I do agree with that as well. And Sandra and Jay, oh my God, I'm so sorry I missed the opportunity to participate in that conversation. I watch you guys on Facebook. You guys are so, so cute. But we both, Elvis and I, wish you guys the best, and we can't wait to see you both together forever and prove that there can be love in the lab and overseas.
All right, everybody. That's all we got for you. Next week, we get back into our solo conversations for a while. So
and IDS.
And then IDS. So we'll talk to you next week.
Have a great week, guys. Yep.
Bye. It's probably the funniest, most awkward conversation ever.
I'm sure.
The views and opinions expressed on the Voices from the Bench podcast are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the host or Voices from the Bench, LLC.